These 5 persons met last night and what they said about you, my dear child. If you believe in angels, start this video and watch it completely. Angel says this message is not for everyone. It is only for you. And that is why the heavens ordered Archangel Michael to deliver it urgently. Michael says, I order you to open this right now because what is being revealed is tied to your destiny. This message is not random. It is not coincidence. It is a divine arrangement. Last night, while you were asleep, while you were unaware of the spiritual movements happening around your life, 5 people met together. They sat in a room, their words heavy, their intentions mixed with jealousy, curiosity, fear, and even admiration. What they said about your personality will shock you because it exposes both the enemies who disguise themselves as friends and the truth that even in secret conversations your name is too powerful to ignore. Do you know why the meeting happened? Because light cannot be hidden. And no matter how much they tried to erase you, silence you, or dismiss you, your presence demands to be acknowledged. These 5 people thought they could analyze you, discuss you, decide what your future should look like. But they forgot one thing. They are not God. They forgot that heaven has the final word over your destiny, not their opinions. And yet God allowed them to speak because their words exposed their hearts. Last night was not an ordinary gathering. It was a divine setup for exposure. Michael was there unseen, standing with his sword of light, watching as they tried to dissect your character. He heard every word. He wrote down every sentence, and now heaven is handing you the transcript because God does not want you to live in ignorance any longer. This message is not about gossip. It is about revelation. It is about truth being unveiled before your eyes. So you finally know who is for you and who is against you. The 1st person spoke with bitterness. They said your personality is too strong, too radiant, too unshakable, and it makes others feel small. They accused you of being intimidating when in reality it was their insecurity reflecting back at them. They said you are someone who cannot be controlled, someone who walks with an authority that disturbs people who are comfortable living in mediocrity. They saw your strength not as a gift but as a threat. What they said about you revealed that their envy has been hidden behind a smile. This person has pretended to support you, but their words last night exposed their jealousy. The 2nd person spoke differently. Their words shocked even the others. They admitted that there is something divine about you. They said, no matter what I try, I cannot stop thinking about the way this person carries themselves. It is like they are touched by something greater, something holy. They described your personality as magnetic. As if heaven itself shines through your actions. They admitted that when you walk into a room, the atmosphere shifts. They confess that they sometimes dream about you, and in those dreams, you appear surrounded by light. This person admires you deeply, but they have been afraid to admit it to your face. What they said reveals that even in the shadows, your light has left an imprint. The third person tried to disguise their intentions. They laughed while speaking about you, mocking parts of your character, saying you are too sensitive, too emotional, too caring. They framed it as weakness. But what Michael revealed is that behind their laughter was fear, because they know your compassion is your greatest weapon. They know that your ability to feel deeply, to care even when others have betrayed you, is a sign of divine strength they can never imitate. They mocked what they cannot understand. They tried to reduce what they could never carry. Their words expose a spirit of mockery, and heaven has now brought it to light, so you will no longer confuse them for a true friend. The fourth person surprised everyone. They spoke with fire in their voice. They defended you. They silenced the room when they said, "Do you not see? This person is chosen. Their personality is not ordinary. Their resilience, their fire, their ability to rise from every downfall is proof that they are meant for greatness. This person has secretly been standing in the gap for you. They have prayed for you in silence. They have spoken positively about you when you were not around. Their words last night revealed their loyalty. They are not perfect, but they see something in you that others cannot deny. This person is an ally heaven placed near you, even though you did not always notice their presence." And then came the fifth person. Their words shocked even the angels. They leaned forward, speaking with a strange intensity. And they said, "If this person ever discovers the fullness of who they are, the world will not be the same. If they ever realize the power in their personality, nothing will stop them. This person has been watching you closely, almost like an observer waiting for a prophecy to unfold. They said your personality carries a divine authority that scares both demons and humans alike. They said you are not normal, you are not ordinary, and that there is something written over your life that even they cannot understand." Their words were both a confession and a prophecy. They know you are dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. They know that once you fully embrace your calling, doors will break open, chains will fall, and lives will change. Now, why is heaven revealing this to you? Because for too long, you have doubted yourself. You have wondered what people think when they see you. You have cried over rejection, not knowing that even in secret, your name is powerful enough to gather 5 people in one night to talk about you. You have been underestimated, but their secret meeting proves the truth. You are unforgettable. Your personality is a force. It cannot be ignored. Even your enemies cannot stop mentioning you. And now God says, if people talk about you in the dark, I will expose it in the light. If they plot in secret, I will reveal it to your spirit. If they curse you, I will turn it into blessing. Archangel Michael is shaking the heavens with his words. This is not a small thing. This is a prophetic sign. 5 voices gathered to discuss you, but none of their words are greater than God's word over your life. You are sealed. You are chosen. You are not what they say. You are what God says. And God says, my child, you are strong. You are radiant. You are compassionate. You are magnetic. You are mine. What they see in you is only a fraction of the truth. What they cannot understand is the mantle I placed on your soul before you were even born. I wrote my glory into your personality. That is why they cannot describe you fully. That is why they speak with both fear and admiration. They sense my presence in you. Now listen carefully. These 5 people were not gathered by accident. Heaven allowed it so you would know how the spiritual world perceives you. You are in a season of exposure and nothing hidden will remain hidden. What was said in secret will be shouted from rooftops. What was plotted in the dark will be revealed in the light. This is not to hurt you but to strengthen you. To remind you that your life is not ordinary, to remind you that even your personality carries weight in the spirit realm. Michael says, I order you to open this message right now because your destiny is pressing. The heavens are moving. You cannot delay. You cannot sit back any longer. You must rise. You must see yourself the way heaven sees you. Stop shrinking. Stop doubting. Stop waiting for approval. Heaven has already approved you. And the fact that they gathered last night proves it. You are a force that demands attention. Child of God, hear this. Well, your personality is not just personality. It is prophetic. It is a weapon. It is an atmosphere-shifting gift. When you speak, realms respond. When you move, doors shift. When you decide, destinies are affected. That is why they met. That is why they talked. That is why you must know now. You are far more powerful than you imagine. Finally, God says, do not fear what they said. Do not fear who mocks you. Do not fear who admires you in silence. Let every word spoken become a testimony of my power in you. Let their discussions be proof that you are chosen. Let their gathering be the sign that exposure has begun. My light is on you. My favor is upon you. And nothing they say can change it. This is your confirmation. This is your revelation. This is your moment. What they said about your personality will shock you, but what heaven says about you will save you. Stand tall. Walk boldly. Shine without apology because you are the one God has chosen, and no meeting, no conversation, no opinion can cancel what heaven has written. God says this is not a coincidence that you are reading this now. This is not random. This is not just another moment in your day. Heaven has pushed this message before your eyes because Archangel Michael has ordered it to be opened right now. You cannot delay. You cannot postpone. You cannot say you will read it later. Michael is speaking with urgency and his command is clear. Open this, read this, and let your spirit hear because the time has come for the truth to be revealed. There are 5 people who gathered last night. 5 souls who came together under a shadow of secrecy, and the words they spoke about you, about your character, about your personality, about your very destiny have reached the courts of heaven. God has heard it. The angels recorded it. And now God is bringing it to you. You cannot remain in the dark anymore. What they said will shock you. What they planned will shake you. What they whispered when they thought no one was listening is now being poured into the light. Archangel Michael stood guard over their gathering. He was not invited, but his presence cannot be excluded. He listened as they spoke. He heard as they revealed their thoughts about you. He knows that their words were not casual. They were seeds. Some meant to destroy, some meant to delay, some even meant to flatter you falsely. But every one of those words was recorded. God says to you now, do not fear what was said, for I am the one who exposes the secret conversations. I am the one who brings hidden plans to the surface. I am the one who will turn their whispers into your testimony. These 5 people did not gather by chance. They were drawn together by a force, and the reason for their meeting had your name on it. Imagine it. 5 minds, 5 tongues, 5 spirits aligned to discuss you, your life, your essence. They believed they were hidden, they believed the night concealed them. But nothing is hidden from God. Nothing is sealed from heaven. The truth is always brought into light when the time comes. And the time is now. If you'd like to donate or show your appreciation, you can give a super thanks up to $100. The first person who spoke that night did not speak out of love. Their words were dripping with envy. They said, "You are too much, that your light blinds them, that your presence makes them feel small." They try to define you as arrogant when, in reality, it is their own insecurity reflecting back at them. God says you have been misunderstood because your spirit carries greatness and small minds cannot hold big visions. They twist your confidence into pride, your courage into recklessness, your dreams into delusion because they cannot see the level where you walk. Their words were meant to reduce you. But heaven is rewriting every syllable they spoke. God says every negative word spoken about your personality is being broken right now. None of it shall stand. None of it shall stick. The second person spoke differently. They were quieter, but their tone was sharp. They analyzed you like an opponent. They spoke as though you were competition, as though your life is a race they need to win. They said you are unpredictable, dangerous even because you are not easy to control. God says this is exactly why I chose you. You were never created to be controlled by man, by society, by systems, by manipulation. You were created to be led by my Spirit, and that makes you uncontrollable to those who rely on deceit. This person's words revealed the fear that your freedom brings them. They cannot bind you. They cannot cage you. They cannot bend you to their will. Their voice was meant to paint you as reckless. But heaven has marked you as free. The third person at that meeting tried to sound neutral, but their heart was double-minded. They said, sometimes they admire you. Sometimes they fear you. Sometimes they do not know what to make of you. They painted you as confusing, unstable, someone who cannot be trusted. But Archangel Michael leaned in closer at that moment because he saw the truth behind their tone. This person is secretly obsessed with you. They cannot stop thinking of you, cannot stop comparing themselves to you, cannot stop watching your every move. They want to be you, but they cannot admit it. They study you. They copy you. They try to mirror you. And when they fail, they turn to criticism. God says, do not be fooled by this. 1. They are neither fully against you nor fully for you. They live in shadow, trying to blend admiration with rivalry. But I am exposing them too, says the Lord. You will no longer be confused by their mixed energy. The fourth person was bold. Their words were sharp, their tone dripping with judgment. They said, you are dangerous because you see too much. They said, your eyes pierced through lies. They accused you of being suspicious, paranoid, always reading into things, but God says this is not paranoia. This is discernment. I gave you eyes to see, ears to hear, a spirit to sense what others miss. You are not crazy. You are not imagining things. You are prophetic. You are sensitive to spirit because you were designed to be a watchman. One who sees before others do. One who feels what is hidden. One who knows before it happens. Their words tried to shame your gift, but heaven is affirming it. You have been rejected because you see too much. But I gave you that sight for protection, not for destruction. You are not wrong to trust what you feel. The fifth person at that meeting was silent for a long time. They listened to the others speak. Then they whispered something that made the room go cold. They said, you are chosen. They admitted it with trembling lips. They confessed that there is something on your life that no one can explain. They said no matter how much they try to pull you down, you always rise again. They said it bothers them, but deep down, they know you are marked. This final voice did not speak blessing, but they spoke truth. Even your enemies know you are chosen. Even those who cannot stand, you cannot deny the hand of God on your life. Their words were meant to sound like frustration, but in reality, they were a confession of defeat. Archangel Michael says, "Every word spoken that night has been delivered into heaven's courtroom." Some words carried curses, some carried envy, some carried judgment, but not one of them will land where it was aimed. God has shielded you. God has covered you. God has turned their words back on themselves. What they meant for harm is being redirected into your blessing. Their late-night meeting has now become the evidence that condemns their own schemes. And you, the one they spoke against, will rise above it all. Do not fear what they said. Do not let shock paralyze you. God did not reveal this to scare you. God revealed it so you would know you are not crazy. You are not alone. You are not mistaken. You were right to feel resistance. You are right to sense jealousy. You are right to notice the shifts in energy. You are right to feel eyes watching you. You were right to question why certain doors closed. It wasn't all in your head. It was real. But God says their words are powerless now. Their meeting was their undoing. Their voices carried evidence and heaven has already ruled in your favor. This message comes with urgency because the next chapter of your life cannot wait. The angels are already moving. Archangel Michael is already unsheathing his sword. The exposure is happening. People are revealing themselves. Conversations are slipping out. Secrets are being told. You will not have to dig. You will not have to guess. God Himself is shining a light and the truth will come to you effortlessly. Stay alert. Stay prayerful. Stay obedient because what is being uncovered is bigger than you realize. God says your personality is not a mistake. The way you are wired is not an error. Your intensity, your fire, your passion, your depth, your curiosity, these are not flaws. They are divine tools. That is why people talk about you. That is why you make them uncomfortable. That is why they gather in secret. Because your very existence forces them to confront what they have avoided. Your authenticity exposes their masks. Your courage exposes their fear. Your faith exposes their doubt. Your gifts expose their lack. This is why they meet at night, because your light shines too brightly in the day. Archangel Michael says, "Do not let their words break you, let them prove you. Do not let their judgment silence you. Let it ignite you. Do not let their envy distract you. Let it remind you that you carry what they don't. You have been chosen for such a time as this. And if 5 people gather in darkness to speak against you, then 5 times the blessing is waiting to be poured into your life. Their words will not destroy you. They will multiply you. Finally, God is exposing this gathering. Finally, God is showing you who is who. Finally, God is tearing the veil. You no longer have to guess. You no longer have to wonder. You no longer have to walk in confusion. This is your moment of clarity. This is your moment of truth. This is your divine exposure. The 5 voices have been heard. And now heaven declares, none of their words will prosper. Instead, your name will prosper. Your destiny will prosper. Your spirit will prosper. You are rising, not falling. You are chosen, not rejected. You are blessed, not cursed. And nothing, not even a secret midnight gathering, can change what God has written about you. Archangel Michael says, I order you to open this right now because this message is especially for you. Heaven has seen what took place and you need to know the truth. 5 people gathered last night and what they said about your personality will shock you, but it is not to destroy you. It is to expose what has been hidden and to reveal what God is about to do in your life. You are not reading this by accident, for your spirit has been crying out for answers and heaven is responding with urgency. God will be with you. Rest assured nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You just have to trust God and pray to Him because this is a spiritual turning point. The night was not ordinary. While you rested, thinking perhaps the world was silent, those in shadowy rooms noticed. But heaven noticed first. There was a moment you prayed and something shifted. Maybe you didn't feel it. Maybe you didn't even believe it worked, but it did. When you spoke that cry from your spirit, something in the spiritual realm responded. Angels were dispatched, documents were opened, heavenly files were accessed, and your name lit up like a beacon. God says that was the moment your life changed because heaven recognized your surrender and so did the enemy. From that moment on, your moves were tracked not just by demons, but by those on earth who understand that certain people are born with divine assignments. People like you, not famous, not flashy, not loud, but powerful beyond comprehension. God says they wanted to know what makes you different. They wanted to understand how someone like you, quiet, humble, broken, could carry such a potent spiritual frequency. What they didn't understand is that it's not about perfection. It's about purpose. You were broken but not empty. You were rejected but not defeated. You were counted out but not cancelled because heaven kept writing your name into every new chapter. And that irritated powers you didn't even know existed. That's why you felt blocked. That's why you felt watched. That's why you've sensed that something or someone was always nearby interfering when things were going right. You weren't paranoid. You were picking up on real spiritual interference. There's a reason doors slam shut. There's a reason certain friendships ended suddenly. There's a reason opportunities slipped through your fingers at the very last second. Someone was watching, not to destroy you, but to distract you, because if they could keep you confused, they could delay your awakening. But now it's too late. You're waking up. You're receiving this message. You're hearing the truth, and the truth is the power watching you was hoping you'd never reach this point. But Archangel Michael has declared it's time. You're no longer going to be a mystery to yourself. You're going to remember who you are. God says you are a divine agent of light on earth, a carrier of truth, a vessel of miracles, a walking disruption to darkness. You weren't sent here to fit in. You were sent here to flip spiritual tables, to expose what was hidden, to restore what was broken. That's why your presence agitates certain people. It's not personal. It's spiritual. Your light triggers their shadows. Your anointing disturbs their demons. And now heaven wants you to stop apologizing for it. You are not a threat. You are a warning. A warning that darkness cannot continue. A warning that justice is near. A warning that God is about to act. The agency watching you may carry a name, or it may be nameless. It may be governmental or spiritual or symbolic. But what matters is not who they are. What matters is who you are becoming, despite it all. You have survived traps that were meant to erase you. You have walked through fire that was designed to consume you. But here you are reading this, feeling the fire of truth spark in your spirit. That's not coincidence. That's God's strategy. He waited for this exact moment to tell you. They've been watching you because you carry something they don't understand. You were born with blueprints hidden in your soul. Heaven encoded you with frequency. You carry the sound of freedom, the rhythm of divine law. And when you walk into rooms, dimensions shift. Atmospheres change. People get healed just by standing next to you. But you didn't know it. You thought it was just being nice, just coincidence. No, you are a light technician, a frequency disruptor. A vessel of divine data. That's why certain people can't stay near you long. They either rise or run because your presence forces transformation. God says they watched you because they feared what would happen if you found out who you are. But now that you know, everything changes. The spiritual surveillance cannot stop your mission. It may have delayed some things. It may have twisted the path, but it did not cancel the promise. You are still chosen. You are still marked. You are still rising. The reason they watched you was not just curiosity. It was spiritual. It was warfare. But heaven always had the final say. That's why you're still here. That's why you didn't die in the car crash. That's why the sickness didn't take you out. That's why the depression didn't win, because God hid you until now. This is your revealing. This is your announcement. This is your spiritual emergence. You are stepping into a power you've never known before. Not because it's new, but because you finally see it. You finally recognize it. The veil has lifted. The blindness has broken. And now, Archangel Michael has declared war on anything that would dare interfere again. That's why things are falling apart. That's why people are acting strange. That's why your emotions have been intense lately. The shaking isn't chaos. It's clearance. Heaven is evicting anything not aligned with your mission. If you'd like to donate or show your appreciation, you can give a super thanks up to $100. God says, do not fear the eyes that watch you. Fear the moment you stop walking in truth. But you haven't stopped. That's why this message is reaching you. You are still aligned. You are still protected. Even when you didn't feel it, angels were surrounding you. Even when you felt abandoned, heaven was documenting your obedience. They tried to record your failure, but heaven recorded your faith. They tried to analyze your patterns, but heaven has always known your purpose. And now they are confused because you were supposed to give up by now. You were supposed to fold under pressure. You were supposed to go crazy. But instead, you became stronger. You prayed harder. You trusted deeper. And now heaven is rewarding that obedience. God says a reversal is coming, a divine turn, a miraculous redirection. Everything stolen will be returned. Everything broken will be restored. But first, He must cleanse the environment. That's why exposure is necessary. That's why you're seeing strange things happen around you. Trust it. It's not punishment. It's preparation. What's coming next will shock you. Not in fear, but in awe. Doors that were shut for years will suddenly open. People who rejected you will apologize. Opportunities you didn't even apply for will find you. Why? Because the surveillance didn't stop your destiny. It confirmed it. God allowed you to be monitored because He needed witnesses to your rise. They thought they were studying you. But heaven says they were preparing to validate your story. God is turning your watchers into announcers, into testifiers, into evidence carriers. You don't need to defend yourself. You don't need to fight back. You don't even need to explain. Just keep walking. Keep rising. Keep believing, because the war over your life has already been won. The emergency is not danger, it's urgency. You must act now. You must pray now. You must walk in truth now. The angels are ready. The files are open. The documents are being stamped. Your name is being called in heavenly places. Your next assignment is here. And one more thing, the reason they watched you was never about who you were. It was about who you would become. The enemy tried to trap you in an identity crisis. But God is giving you clarity. You are a threat to darkness. You are an agent of revival. You are a walking prophecy and you are about to enter your fulfillment. Everything changes now because now you know the clock just struck the end of the third hour. Heaven watched to see what decision you would make. The angels held their breath, not because they doubted you, but because free will is sacred. And now it's done. The moment that hovered between warning and warfare has passed. What happens next will either unlock divine restoration or unleash a chain reaction that may take time to repair. But God says even now, even if you hesitated, even if you almost walked straight into the trap, there is still a way out. But first, you must know what just happened. Because what you couldn't see in the natural has already shaken the heavens. The trap was activated. Yes. The woman who pretended to be your ally, the one heaven told you about, she moved. Her tongue moved. Her phone lit up. She made a call. She sent a message, and in that moment a net was dropped in, the spirit realm with your name on it. It was not a physical net. It was a spiritual entanglement, a snare of manipulation, energy draining, confusion, and delay. It looked like kindness. It came with pretty words. But in the spirit, it was wrapped in spiritual poison. And when she spoke your name to those who harbor jealousy and disdain, she tried to align herself with the forces that wanted your downfall. But here is the secret that has now been unsealed. What she didn't know is that your name is sealed by fire. When she spoke it, heaven heard it, and the fire of the Holy Spirit ignited in divine defense. Archangel Michael stood between her words and your destiny. His sword glowed with righteous fury, and the trap, she set, collapsed under the weight of heaven's hand. Because you, child of God, may have been tempted, may have been confused, may have almost walked into it, but you are still chosen. You are still marked. You are still covered by grace. And the enemy's plan was stopped the moment the clock expired. But that doesn't mean the war is over. Exposure comes in waves. And now the second wave has begun. God is not just exposing what she planned. He's exposing why. He's showing you the history you didn't know. The time she envied you. The way she compared herself to you in silence. The resentment she held in her soul when others celebrated you. This isn't new. She's been carrying this for years. But what's new is that now the spiritual realm has turned a spotlight on her. You may start to hear whispers, see signs, get unusual dreams. Pay attention to them. These are not coincidences. They are divine clues. God is teaching you how to read energy, how to feel intentions beneath words, how to discern motives behind smiles. She may still try to pretend. She may send a message, appear calm, say all the right things, but you'll feel the shift. Her mask will no longer fit. Her words won't carry the same false comfort. Her vibration will repel your peace. This is the spiritual severance. Happening in real time. The cord that once connected you to manipulation is being burned. You'll feel lighter, clearer. But be prepared. It might also come with grief because the mind still mourns what the soul outgrows. And God says, I understand the mourning, but don't let your loyalty bury your destiny. She will feel the exposure spiritually first, emotionally next, then physically. Watch what begins to fall apart around her. Not because you wished harm, but because divine law demands balance. When a person touches what is sacred without pure intent, the spiritual realm corrects it. God is showing you who is who. Not so you become bitter, but so you can walk in boldness. This exposure isn't a punishment. It's a prerequisite. You're about to walk into rooms that require spiritual clarity. You cannot carry confusion into divine elevation. You cannot carry emotional obligation into supernatural movement. So God is forcing the shift. You prayed for elevation. Exposure is the door. The woman may accuse you of changing. Let her. She may say you're being distant. Let her. She may try to play the victim. Let her. Because the truth needs no defense. And heaven is your witness. She knows what she did. She knows why she tried to get close. She knows what she said behind closed doors. But you need to keep your hands clean. Do not fight in the flesh. Do not retaliate. Do not try to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stand still and watch God defend you in front of those who swore you'd never rise. And you will rise. Because while she set a trap, God built a staircase. One you couldn't see yet because it was waiting for the exact moment you chose obedience over attachment. That staircase is being revealed now. One by one, the steps are glowing with divine alignment. You're going to feel the shift. You'll walk into a room and suddenly feel seen. You'll open a message that opens a door. You'll remember a dream that gives you an answer. This is the fruit of your surrender. This is the reward for your obedience. Because the trap didn't take you, purpose did. Don't go back. Don't second guess. Don't try to keep the connection. She is not assigned to your next. The energy between you has already been severed. To force it now would be to resurrect a dead thing. And God says, what I have ended, do not resuscitate. You are not responsible for her healing. You are not obligated to shrink so she can feel big. You are not required to lose your peace so she can feel comfortable. Walk away with grace. But walk away completely, because every time you try to go back, you delay your own harvest. She's watching you now. Not just with her eyes, but with her spirit. She feels the distance. She senses your shift. And she will either rise and repent or retaliate in silence. Either way, her reaction is no longer your responsibility. Your only responsibility now is to stay aligned. Aligned with purpose, aligned with peace, aligned with truth, aligned with heaven. God is walking you into new circles, new alliances, new spiritual appointments. These people will feel like home. They will not compete with you. They will cover you. They will not manipulate you. They will mentor you. They will not study your wounds. They will protect your anointing. But they could not come until she left. And now that she's being exposed, the right ones are being released. The next few days will be heavy with revelation. You'll remember things, she said, realize patterns. Connect dots. That's not random. That's divine insight unlocking as the blindfold falls off. The more you see, the more you'll heal. And as you heal, you'll stop blaming yourself for trusting, for loving, for hoping, for being open. You did what pure hearts do. You believe the best. That's not weakness. That's your power. And God says, because you believed in love, you are now being rewarded with truth. Truth is the blessing. Truth is the answer, truth is the reward. And now that you have it, what will you do? Heaven is waiting. The angels are moving. The exposure is done. And now the elevation begins, but do not look back. Do not let her tears tempt you into guilt. Do not let her silence make you question your clarity. You heard God. You felt the warning. You saw the sign. Now walk into restoration. Walk into divine connections. Walk into protection. Walk into overflow. Walk into peace. Walk into purpose. And know this, you did not miss it, you were right on time. The trap is broken. The snare is destroyed. And the woman who tried to take what was yours